Hello everyone and welcome back to another video, or if you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Emmy and we do everything bookish, reading related here on this channel. As you can see from the title, today's video is another TBR jar video. Now if you've never watched any of these before or you've not watched any on my channel, we basically picked my TBR for the month using a TBR jar. I asked you guys for a bunch of prompts and ideas. We're gonna pull them and then we're gonna pick books based off of them, and we're gonna pick 6 books. I read more than 6 books a month, but I always try to read 6 from my TBR because I like to binge read. I like to binge series, so when I start one book, if it's a book in a part of the series, I'll probably just go and read the whole series that same month too. And I also love to read books on my Kindle and Kindle Unlimited books. I like to mood read, so I don't like to restrict myself to like only reading books on my TBR. As I do have a TBR and it has been growing, I do want to get through it and I want to prioritize reading books off of there. I'm currently in a book buying ban just until I can get some more books done off my TBR, but I have been saying for a couple months now that I'm going to be doing like a really big book shopping, book haul vlog. So I do need to buy new books soon and I do want to, but I want to get through some more of my TBR first. I've always had my TBR just amongst all my other books, but I did cave. We've got a TBR cart. I did go to IKEA this morning and I did buy a cart to put all my unread books on there because my bookshelf was filling up pretty quickly and a big chunk of it was books that I haven't read yet. So I thought, why not get a TBR cart? Because I didn't realize you could fill these like both ways. So both front and back on the top layer is full. We've got a lot of space left on the bottom, but you can, it's double-sided. This is, whoever figured out that you could use these little carts to fill books, genius. I've got some hardcovers on the bottom, but how many books do we have on my TBR? Shall we count? That is the real question. 15, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we have 31 books on my TBR, which isn't that much. I read around 20 books a month, so you know, being in a book buying ban and just reading books off my TBR, I could probably read all these books before the end of the year, if we're being real. Will I actually? I don't know, because I haven't been in the mood for a lot of them. That's why they're still on my TBR. I also have a lot of new ARCs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out of the 31 books that I have on my TBR, 6 of them were sent to me by publishers that I haven't read yet. So these are new releases, upcoming releases, independently published authors who are sending their books out so people can hear about them. And I like to read my ARCs and proofs quite quickly because I get very excited for them. So they're usually the first ones to be read and everything else I've sort of had for a couple months. So we're gonna pick 6 books and they're gonna be books from this TBR or maybe some Kindle reads as well, because I do have a couple Kindle prompts in here. I have a TBR for my Kindle as well. On my like Goodreads, I have a list or a shelf on there of books that I know are on Kindle Unlimited or that I want to read on my Kindle, but I have been going through a Kindle era at the moment. Like this current moment in time, I've been doing a lot of traveling and I just want to read books on my Kindle. Like it's more convenient for me to pick up my Kindle than it is to pick up a physical book. I have been reading An Ember in the Ashes lately. I'm so excited because the day and time that this TBR video goes live on Wednesday afternoon, I will be having afternoon tea with the author. What even is my life right now? That's probably like the most exciting thing that's ever happened for me. I'm absolutely obsessed with this book series. So I read book 1 and then downloaded book 2 on Kindle, binged it. I'm in the middle of book 3. And you'll see some of that in a reading vlog. But in terms of my TBR, because it's not the end of the month yet, I still have time to get more book reads done. So what have we read on my TBR? I don't think I'll finish all 6 books that I picked on my TBR because I picked 6 books on my YouTube vlogs to read, and then I also pick like another 6 books and I put them on TikTok. The books that we picked last month were Crooked Kingdom, Deadly Occupants, Born of Blood and Ash, A Kiss of Iron, The Dagger and the Flame. Other books that I picked were Never Keep, Goldfinch, Anathema, Wild Eyes, Fear the Flames, and Book Lovers. The reason that is because I have just been binging series. So I finished Born of Blood and Ash. You would have seen that already. I read A Kiss of Iron and then I went and read all the books that were out. I read book 1 and 2 and then like the spin-off interconnected book, so 3 books for that. I read Never Keep, I read Wild Eyes, I read Book Lovers. I am reading Crooked Kingdom this week and Deadly Occupants. Reading vlogs will come. Reading Anathema as part of my book club. I don't think I'll get Bride of the Shadow King done before October, but I think it will be read like by the 3rd of November. You know what I mean? So, but I have been traveling a lot. That's my justification. So they're gonna roll over into November, and they will be in reading vlogs in November. I just can't say that I have completed them yet at this stage. So I really want to read this. This is the one that I want to read the most, and it is Rebel Witch, book 2 in the Heartless Hunter Crimson Moth series. It's not coming out until February, but I was sent an advanced copy, a proof copy by the publisher. So I really want to get a prompt that I can like make work for that, because I'm dying to read that. I mean, I think I'll read that anyways, but it would be fun if we could pick that. But other than that, I don't really know. I can't say that I'm super excited about most of the books. I feel like the longer I go without having read these books, the books that I've like had on my TBR for the longest, the less I want to read them. Let's pick the first prompt, because I've already been talking for like 10 minutes at this point. Picking one straight from the top, because the TBR jar is very full. Recommended by a friend. Has anyone recommended any of these? I don't think anyone has personally recommended. I've got a few on here that people have told me not to read. I think we're gonna put this one back, because I could just message a friend and ask them to pick one, but that's not what the prompt says. Didn't pick up any of these books because they were recommended by a friend. So we're gonna put that one back in the jar when we're finished, and we're gonna repick. Strong start to the video, guys. Book by an indie author. Okay, I could pick a couple for this. We've got 3 books, so I'm pretty sure these are all indie authors, but if I'm wrong, I am sorry. We've got A Tribute of Fire by Soraya Wilson. I've seen so many book girlies receive this copy as well. Like, I'm very excited for this. It sounds so good. The dedication says, for all my Raylo friends and for anyone who adores enemies to lovers. I feel like so many fantasy and romancy writers start out by writing like Raylo fanfiction or something. Isn't that a thing? Leah is the princess of Locris, a dying desert nation cursed centuries ago by an earth goddess, one still worshipped by the thriving and adversarial nation of Ilion. Why can't I ever speak when I do these? I get every word wrong. Every year, Ilion offers the goddess a sacrifice, 2 Locrian maidens forced to compete in a life and death race to reach her temple. In a millennium, no maiden has made it out of Ilion alive. This year, Leah is one of the hunted. An education in battle gives her a fighting chance, but the challenges are greater than she feared. Leah's beloved but untrained sister, Queen, I have no idea how you say that, has been put in the path of danger. The winding streets of Ilion itself have been transformed into a labyrinth maze of countless choices and dead ends, and if the risks weren't significant enough, Leah is reluctantly drawn to the commandingly attractive Jason, a sailor she loathes to trust and desires like no man before. The tribute game is on. It's up to Leah to lift the goddess's curse and restore Locris to its former glory and change the fate of every young woman destined to follow in her path. So that's fun. We have Into the Fire, which is the new romantic suspense in the Shadows trilogy, and this says, wait, I need to actually look this one up because there's no like blurb on this. 19-year-old Melanie Snow is desperate to untangle what happened the night her parents died. Their employer, the most powerful weapons manufacturer in the country, swears the deaths were a tragic workplace accident, but details in the police reports don't add up. Worse, the authorities refuse to answer her questions. Something bigger is going on, and Mel won't stop until she uncovers the truth. Tommy Williams has belonged to the Resistance ever since the night he saw Mel's parents murdered alongside his own. He knows who's a homegrown extremist group called the Organization. The memories eat him alive, but it's too late to act. There's nothing he can do to make up for failing to save their lives, not until he learns Mel is centered in the Organization's crosshairs. Tommy defies orders and risks his life to warn her, but Mel refuses to run. Instead, she pledges herself to the Resistance to earn information and to take down the people responsible for her parents' death. But the group do not trust her, and it's not long before she finds herself caught in a web of secrets and lies. As the target on her back grows, so do her feelings for Tommy. If Mel can't stand against the Organization alone, innocent blood will spill, including Tommy's. So that sounds fun. I don't know what I want to read. And this is Riftborn. 20 years after a rebellion branded her an outcast, Fia navigates a city rife with prejudice so deep it's often deadly, but she harbors a secret, one that would paint an even larger target on her back. A hidden power within her is growing, threatening to destroy everything she's built for herself. Enter the elusive Cid General Larrick Ashford, who is building a unit of powerful wielders within the Guard to face a growing threat. Wraiths of darkness devour the western border, leaving a trail of death and destruction in their wake. When Fia's power erupts and 2 daughters of nobility are seemingly dead, General Ashford offers her a chilling choice: join the Cid Guard or face execution, because Fia might be the only hope for the Isle's survival. Torn between surrendering to the chaos or becoming a weapon for those who took everything from her, Fia must confront her growing feelings for the General and face a dark truth. To be fair, all three of these are giving similar vibes. They're not like too different. I mean, all the plots are different, but they're all romanticies with like a main female character who's fighting for her life or joining a rebellion or, you know, got herself into some trouble. So I feel like in terms of mood reading, any of these I would be happy to pick up and read. But I'm like, let's see, what's the longest and what's the shortest? Like, should I pick the longest book that we've got or do I go with the shortest? So this one's 395 and the pages look pretty decent size. This looks like it'll be quite comfortable to read. This one is smaller and it's deceptive because it's also like 380 something pages, but the font is a little bit smaller. But the size of these two together look so different. I wouldn't have said that they were the same size. This one is also printed quite nice. This one is 500 pages, 510 pages. I kind of think I want to read Riftborn, and I think it was my most recent indie ARC I got, so I might pick this one. Though I actually really want to read the other two. These two are going back on the TBR cut. That's our first book picked. Book number 2. Most anticipated book. Oh hell yeah, we know what we're picking. This is my most anticipated book in general, but also was one of my most anticipated reads of 2025, and the fact that I've got my hands on a copy on it in 2024. We are reading Rebel Witch, which is the highly anticipated sequel to The Crimson Moth. A forbidden love story that will leave you breathless. A witch hunter, and a love so deadly it could set the world on fire. Now, I don't want to read the blurb out or what this book is about if you haven't read The Crimson Moth, but The Crimson Moth is a story of a witch and a witch hunter. A young adult book, very, very fun. I personally really enjoyed it and I cannot wait to read this. This also looks like bigger than it is. It is 450 pages, but also the font and the way that it's printed is very large, like a hardcover. So that's the text on it. So I don't want to like spoil any pages, but we're gonna go with The Rebel Witch for book 2. That was so good. I was wondering if I was gonna get a prompt that I could like pick for that book, and if not, what I would do, if I would just keep picking prompts until I get it. But that's so exciting. Wow, that was very fast. All right, book number 3. Oh, this looks long. Instagram followers choose. I'm gonna pick 2 books and then I'm gonna put them on my story. Now, a lot of people completely block it out so you don't know what book you're picking and would just use like color and emojis, but I think I'm just gonna put 2 actual books on there and let people pick what they are. So what have we got to read? I'm not putting the Atlas 6 on there because everyone will tell me to read the Atlas 6 in it. I'm just never in the mood for the Atlas 6. I really need convincing for that one. Well, that's a duology and I've got 2 books on there. So we'll put We Hunt the Flame. That will be one of the options. And then the second one, I don't want to read Dance of Thieves because everyone told me to read A Kiss of Deception first. And I kind of do want to read that. Maybe City of Bones by Cassandra Clare or Lore of the Wilds. Lore of the Wilds could be good. That sounded good when I had a look at that. We'll do Lore of the Wilds. Okay, so we've picked 2 books and I'm going to take a photo of them now. I'm gonna put it on my Bookstagram page. On my Bookstagram, I'm gonna go, help me pick a book. We'll do Lore of the Wilds and We Hunt the Flame. Help me pick a book to add to my November TBR. Okay, that is posted. So I'm gonna leave that for, I don't know, we'll pick all the other prompts and then we'll come back and pick that. So we've picked 3, we'll pick 3 more. We'll pick a pink one this time. And then at the end of the video, we will see how the votes are doing. Highest rated on Goodreads. Give me 2 minutes to work out what the highest rated one is. Okay, so I've gone through all of the books and the 3rd highest rated book on my TBR is A Tribute of Fire. It is a 4.26 star rating with 1,623 ratings. The second most highest rated book is actually Blood of Hercules by Jasmine Mass, and this is 4.27 star rating, so 1 point higher with 21,393 ratings. I'm pretty sure that one's reverse harem as well, which I'm not like a reverse harem girly, but I will still read a reverse harem book, so I'm interested to see. I just always have such like a bias. And then the top rated book on my TBR with a 4.33 star rating and 150,000 ratings is Legendborn. We're gonna read Legendborn. It's the first book in a YA fantasy series. I don't know if it's a complete series yet. After her mother dies in an accident, 16-year-old Bree Matthews wants to escape. A residential program for bright high schoolers seems like the perfect opportunity until she witnesses a magical attack on her very first day on campus. Flying demon feeding on human energies, a secret society of so-called Legendborn that hunt creatures down. A mysterious mage who calls himself a Merlin and who attempts and fails to wipe Bree's memory of everything she saw. The mage's failure unlocks Bree's own unique magic and a buried memory from the night her mother died. Now Bree will do whatever it takes to discover the truth, even infiltrate the Legendborn. But when the Legendborn reveal themselves as descendants of King Arthur's knights and foretell a magical war, Bree must decide how far she'll go for the truth. Should she use her magic to take the society down or join the fight? So that is technically our 4th book. We've got 2 more to go. Book number 5. A book with a cover you don't like. I'm quite picky with like covers. I do judge a book by a cover. And there's a lot that I don't like on here. You know what? I really don't like this one. A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid. I also really don't like the edges. The color combination is not for me. I think it's the color mainly that's throwing me off. I feel like it needs to be like a darker cover. What else don't I like? There's honestly quite a lot. I don't really like Shadowhunters because of the person on it. Like I don't like real people on a book. So I don't really like any of the covers for this book series. Which one do I want to read? I think I want to read Shadowhunters more. So I think we're going to pick Shadowhunters. Oh, how exciting. This is a very iconic YA book series that has been around for years. Clary Frey's seeing things, vampires in Brooklyn and werewolves in Manhattan. Irresistibly drawn to the Shadowhunters, a secret cadre of warriors dedicated to ridding the world of demons, Clary encounters the dark side of New York City and the dangers of forbidden love. So I'm pretty sure this is like an urban fantasy with werewolves and vampires and some type of dark magical hunters. Also, I know there's The Mortal Instruments and then another series, but people said to start with the first 3 books in The Mortal Instruments, then go back and read some of the other books and then continue on with this. I had a lot of people tell me to do that, so that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm gonna do, but I only own book 1 first to see if I like it. All right, and this is gonna be the last book we pick. A book with a 1-word title. I don't know if I have any. Oh, I do, and I don't want to read that one. But is this 2 words or 1? Ooh, okay. So we have Threadneedle. We also have Lore. Do you have Verity? But this is my sister's copy. This isn't mine. I don't read Coho books. It's not an author that I am particularly that interested in. My sister gave it to me and asked me to read it, and I want to give her her copy of her book back. So maybe we'll read that one also because it is the shortest out of all 3 of them. This is an enthralling and original fantasy woven inside a magical web of lies. Anna's aunt has always warned her of the dangers of magic and its deadly consequences. She counts down the days to the ceremony that will bind her magic forever. That is until she meets Effie and Attis. They open her eyes to a London she never knew existed, one filled with magical shops, a secret library where the librarian feeds off words, and clubs where revelers lose themselves in a haze of spells. But as Anna is swept deeper into this world, she begins to wonder if her aunt was right all along. Is her magic a gift or a curse? So that's really interesting, but I've not been like super drawn to like pick it up. And then we have Lore, quite an iconic book. I've heard so much about this. This is Hunt or Be Haunted. In modern day New York, a murderous game is about to begin, the Aegon. Every 7 years, for 1 week only, Zeus punishes the gods and makes them mortal. Forced to walk the earth, they are savagely hunted by the descendants of ancient bloodlines who are eager to kill a god and seize their divine power and immortality. After her family was brutally murdered by a rival line, Lore Perseus fled, turning her back on the Aegon's cruel promises of eternal glory. For years, Lore has honored her parents' memory by doing one thing, surviving. For years, she has pushed away dark thoughts of revenge until now. As the next game dawns, Lore finds Athena gravely wounded on her doorstep. The goddess offers her an alliance alliance against their mutual enemy in a way to leave the Aegon behind forever, but Lor's decision to rejoin the hunt will come at a deadly cost and may not be enough to stop the rise of a new god empowered to destroy humanity. These are the two I'm most interested in. I mean, I feel like I need to read this before like spooky season, the end of year is up, otherwise I'm just never going to. And because my sister asked me to read it, I think I'm gonna go with this one. Also, it is the shortest. But I do know that this is a lot of people say that this book is just a copy of Rebecca. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna put the books back on my TBR. So we have We Hunt the Flames at 59% and Lore of the Wilds at 41%, which means we're gonna be reading We Hunt the Flame. And then that way, if I want to binge it, I already have the second book and I can just binge that straight away. I'm quite happy with that. So this is our TBR for the month. We have We Hunt the Flame, Verity, City of Bones, Legendborn, Riftborn, and the one I'm most excited for is The Rebel Witch. And that is my TBR for the month of November. I will probably read more than 6, but they're the ones we have picked. And my goal for November, like my actual goal, is I want to read all 6 of them, and I think I can do that. Maybe I'll do like a dedicated reading my TBR vlog or something to hold me a bit more accountable, but that is this video done. If you have made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in my next vlog. Bye.